ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा शिवाशादि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री श्री राधा गोपीनाथ भगवान की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय। Can open your eyes now. Am I audible for everyone? You can show a thumbs up. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
It's nice to see everyone showing thumbs up in unison. I expected one or two to respond.
Yeah.
So that means I'm being very audible to everyone. So thank you all very much for joining us. As I said, this being the first week, there'll be some of our friends would join later. So can I request you to please mute your iPhone as long as I speak? Later on, I'll give you Tool's phone. Later on, there will be a time when I'll give you for question and answer session. At that time, you can speak as much as you like. I'll patiently sit and listen. Okay, let's get started. My name is Gansham Govinda. You can call me Ganasham. That's my name. I'm a brahmachari, also known as monk in ISKCON North Sydney Temple. ISKCON Sydney Temple. We are in North Sydney. And I've been practicing the lifestyle of a brahmachari for the past 12 years. I got introduced rather to Bhagavad Gita in 2005. So for the last 19 years or so, I've been reading and teaching pretty much for the same duration of probably 1 year lesser. I've been teaching for the last 18 years. And professionally, I'm a senior software developer by profession. I'm still working. I stay in the temple, it's work from home. So I do my spiritual practice. I teach others on Bhagavad Gita, on the Puranas. I do yagyas, as they call fire sacrifices. I do pujas also in the temple. And I'm a senior software developer by profession as well. Today, what we are going to do is we are going to get started on Bhagavad Gita. So I'm going to share my PowerPoint. It's just for the first week because there's a lot of information for you to process, to first hear and process. I've put them in the slide, but usually we won't use much PowerPoints for subsequent sessions because, as I said, there are a few things. It's good if you see something visually, you will remember it much better. That's the idea why we put. Other sessions, we still will be showing you some illustrations, some artwork as part of the discussion, but that will be occasionally. So we'll talk and then I'll still bring occasionally to just to drive home a point. So we'll have some visuals there, but it won't be, I won't bore you like a classroom session. So sit back and relax. You don't need to remember everything, whatever I speak. Try as much as you can to capture, to process, and to remember. This session is fully recorded, and for that matter, every session that we are going to do will be recorded. We have our own YouTube channel. I'll be posting it and I'll share the link in the WhatsApp group as well. So you won't miss anything at all. Now, this shouldn't give you excuse to miss classes. This shouldn't give you excuse to switch off your video and sit back quiet. I still see Arya, Hayontika there, Paladugu, Thul, AB. Is that AB Devilas? Akriti, Biswas. You are still staying here without your video on, so please turn it on. We are already separated by a big distance. So the only way how we can have any kind of a personal flavor to our conversation is by me seeing you and you seeing me. So we strongly encourage everyone to please turn it on. Encouraging is only for the first session. Second session onwards, our admin will kick you out of the session if you don't have your videos on, and then you have to re-enter back again, wait in the meeting room, they'll check whether you have video, and then only you'll be let back in. As I said, today, first session, we are a bit relaxed. The idea of us requesting everyone to turn on the videos is because we are in a very relaxed home setting or room setting, wherever you may be. It's very easy to get distracted. 1 hour is not such a long time for you to stay connected visually as well as through sound. But in between, if you have to go have a cup of water or you have to go for a toilet, no problem. You can temporarily turn it off and then please be back on again. Don't take that as an excuse. Please understand, in a whole week, we have a lot of time and we go through a lot of pressure situations. The only time we have given for ourselves to go a bit deeper within ourselves is this 1 hour. And this is an investment we are doing. And my humble request is, you have come such a long way. I'm very, very grateful for all of you to have taken time, especially amidst a busy schedule, especially just before the long or before the weekend break. So I'm very appreciative of that. So at the same time, I also want to make sure that you benefit to the maximum. So that's my humble request. So I have a relationship with all of you as a teacher. I'm 43 years old. I think most of you may be half my age, young enough to be my sons and daughters. So I'll take a little liberty as a teacher to sometimes when I have to draw the line, I have to draw the line, put my foot down and I have to say something firm. So please don't take it personal. Please treat me as your brother, as your father. And please, 1 hour you are giving, please give it fully. So, and allow me to do my service properly. So we all can get the grace of Lord Sri Krishna. That's the idea. And some ground rules, as I said, is we are already starting a little late. It's okay. Next week onwards, we'll start it on time. What it means is starting a little late today being the first session is we are going to take another 10 extra minutes. Again, apologies in advance, but not more than 10 minutes. So we'll go till 7:40 just for today. As we can see, there are still people joining. And I have to also explain to you things which are outside of the core syllabus, which is, as I said, ground rule is one such thing. So we start on time and finish on time every week. 6:30 we start, session goes till 7:30. So that's the idea. Last 15 minutes will be given for question and answer session. And the second thing is, please leave your videos on throughout this entire duration. And if you have any questions, you can make a note. And if something is really going over your head, you can raise your hands physically, or best is to push the button so I can see you, because there is a lot of you. I may not be able to see you, but if you can either push the button, or if you don't know how to do it, at least if you raise the hand, then I know I need to explain something. I need to stop first and I need to explain you something. So I'll understand that. Okay, without further ado, as I said, we are 9 minutes going behind. So let's take it. The 1 hour session is starting from this point onwards, but we won't have this 10 minutes delay from next week onwards. Bang at 6:30 we'll start and bang at 7:30 we'll conclude. Okay. Thank you all again. For those of you who have arrived late, thank you for taking your time to join us. As I said, my name is Ganashyam Govinda. As you can see in the screen, you can call me Ganashyam. It's a name of Krishna. Ganashyam being Krishna, who is dark complexioned. Krishna's color is like that of a dark rainy cloud. So whenever you see a time when it's about to rain, you just look at the sky and you get reminded of Krishna. That's the exact color which Lord Brahma says is Krishna's complexion. All right, let's get started. As I said, I'm just going to share my screen. Please don't get overwhelmed by the amount of information which you are going to see shortly. As I said, the whole idea of this is this is an intro, or rather an induction session for you. And then we will definitely touch on today's topic as well. So we have kept a very simple topic today, and then we'll see how we go. Bhagavad Gita for Modern Youth. This is the name of our program, the overarching program. We have specifically designed this program to teach Bhagavad Gita for all the modern youth. Bhagavad Gita as such is a very voluminous book. So what we have done is we have developed the courses from this extracting the essence on very, very special topics, especially topics that are relevant to modern youth. So you don't need to go through the pain of having to skim through each page and each verse of Bhagavad Gita. As I said, I've been teaching this and my teachers have been teaching for 40, 50 years more. So it's more wise of us if we can somehow or other tap into their wisdom and take the essence and we can put into practice. Very important. So Gopinath's Youth, that's the name of our youth group. We used to run our classes in a slightly disorganized fashion in different pockets. So Gopinath's Youth is an attempt to bring all of our different youth groups together. So the more the merrier. Whenever we have an in-person session, it inspires everyone. So that's the idea why we started this. We started this late last year. And we started this 3 media page just 2 days ago. So please do make a note of this. I'll post the links for each one of them in the group as well. Please do subscribe to our Facebook page. We have an Instagram page as well. As I said, don't be deterred by the number of users that are there. There is, I think, still in single digit, but it will grow. As I said, we just inaugurated a couple of days ago with the Wednesday batch. And we have our YouTube channel as well. And that's where all our classes, recordings of the classes and all the activities that we do will get posted. Videos, audios, pictures, everything will be posted in these 3 media. So please subscribe to this. The website, we have got a domain registered called gopinathsyouth.com. Please remember it's Gopinath's Youth. Gopinath is the name of Krishna, who we worship in North Sydney. So whenever you come to North Sydney Temple, you will see Radha Krishna. I'll share the photo of them as well. So Gopinath, we wanted to name it as us belonging to him. So that's why it's called Gopinath's Youth. Just like you will say, this is my bottle. You will call it Ganashyam's bottle. Like that, we all belong to Shri Radha Gopinath. So this is the youth forum of ISKCON Sydney. Just to give you an idea, we have close to 83 groups that are spread across Sydney and connected to our temple. And these groups, some of them, they are small. Small means, in our understanding, it's about 15 to 20. Big means we have groups which are as big as 250 to 300. And we have 83 such groups. You tell us the suburb, we'll tell you what's the closest. You know, you have sometimes you go to Office Works, you go online, they'll say store locator. Like that, I can tell you the Gita locator where you can even go there and take weekly Sangha in person as well. So we have so many groups there. Youth groups also, we have 4. Currently, as I said, they are spread across. We are trying to unite all of them and then we'll bring together everyone under one umbrella. So whenever we have in-person session, you will get to meet, first of all, each other, as well as members of the other batches as well. Gita trivia, let's get started. Bhagavad Gita, which is this book, is written 5,000 years ago. It's a sacred conversation between Lord Sri Krishna and Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. In fact, this conversation happened just before the Kurukshetra war was about to start. This book has got 700 verses in all. As you can see here, this book is part of Mahabharata. And there are 4 personalities who contributed to this book. Of course, the prime speaker, the star player here is Krishna himself. He spoke 575 verses. Of those 700, he spoke 575 verses. Arjuna spoke 83. Dhritarashtra, who is the father of Duryodhan, he spoke 1 verse. The very first verse of Bhagavad Gita was spoken by Dhritarashtra. And Dhritarashtra's personal secretary, his Sanjaya, he spoke 41 verses. You add up and you'll arrive at this number, 700 verses in all. That's how many verses Bhagavad Gita comprises of. And to give you an idea, the size of this book is also about a little over 700 pages. So it's a lot of information. All these verses are written in Sanskrit. So it takes a lot of time to really take it, read, master. I've been reading Bhagavad Gita, as I said, for the past 19 years. If you ask me, have I memorized all the Gita? No, of the 700 verses, so probably I'll know 300 or 350 verses now by heart. Now, does that make me great? Absolutely not. You can be a master of Gita even without memorizing 1 single verse. What matters is not our memory capacity. What matters is not so much about how much we can know the entire Bhagavad Gita by heart. What matters is little thing I'm getting one of you need to turn off. You have to mute. So what matters here is we can know a very, very little thing, learn something very, very small and put that into practice. And that's very, very important. During the course of Bhagavad Gita, which we are offering to all of you, our primary focus will be that one. How we can take the essence of Gita and put into practice straight away. So every single week you come, you'll have a lesson that you will learn, you'll have a wisdom. We will tell you clearly what verse we are actually extracting that principle from. So you can go back home and you can read it more for your interest. Who can understand Gita? One of the frequently asked questions, FAQ, is knowledge of Sanskrit needed to understand Gita? Absolutely not. I don't know Sanskrit, but I know this verse by heart. Like this, I know 350 verses, 350 verses by heart. Sayavayam maya tedya yoga prokta puratanaha bhakto sime sakacheti rahasyam hi etat uttamam. I can say it. It just comes by repeated recitation. You'll remember over a period of time, just like how you remember a movie song like that. Now, who can understand Gita? You don't need to understand Sanskrit. In fact, I don't even know Hindi. I come from Tamil Nadu, South India. I know Tamil. I speak English. Basically, that's all. I don't know even Hindi. What to speak of Sanskrit? But you can still understand Gita. You can still study Gita. There is English version. Bhagavad Gita has been translated into so many different languages as well. So if you are comfortable reading in English, you can. Or if you want to read in your mother tongue, you can let me know and I'll try to organize that. We have close to like a dozen languages here available in Sydney. Or even if it means I have to get it from some other part of the world, I'll be more than happy to do that service for you. Now, what are the two qualifications which Krishna says? It's not language about, it's not the knowledge about the language. Rather, it's not about whether you are a monk. Can only brahmacharis understand? No, it's not like that. Can only men understand? No, that's not like that. Kids can understand. Women can understand. Grahastha couples who are married, they can understand. The people who are not married can understand. It's open for everyone. There is no prerequisite at all. However, Krishna says in this particular verse, which is said in chapter 4, verse 3, Krishna says there are two qualifications, two qualities. If we can have, Krishna says you will understand the Bhagavad Gita in full. And if we are really intelligent, really smart, then we should find what is that qualification which Krishna is asking us to imbibe in order to understand Bhagavad Gita. So the first one, it's Krishna is saying that very ancient science of relationship with the Supreme is today told by me. Me here refers to Krishna, capital M, to you. He is speaking to Arjuna. So Krishna is telling to Arjuna, you are getting this knowledge of Gita directly from me because of these two qualities. You are my devotee and you are my friend. Now, some of you may think I'm not a devotee. I'm not a Krishna Bhakt. I'm not a friend of Krishna either. Does that mean I won't understand Gita? No, we may not be a devotee of Krishna yet, but at least we need to have the attitude of a devotee. We need to show respect to Gita. We need to show respect to Krishna. At least that much we need to have little devotional attitude. Likewise, we need to also have friendly attitude towards Krishna. We should treat Krishna as our friend. Here is a friend who out of his compassion, out of his karuna, he has given us this knowledge. Okay, what has my friend got to teach me today? At least with these two qualities, if we can have, at least in theory, at least during the duration of you reading and hearing Bhagavad Gita, if not for the entire day, at least during this 1 hour, if you can have that attitude, then Krishna says you will understand Gita. Okay, so it's only these two. One should be his devotee and one should be his friend. Now, in our Gopinath's youth group, we teach students, we teach people from all walks of life, and we follow what we call as the 5S model. So you won't just learn the theoretical aspect of it. In fact, of these 5S, you see everything starts with S. If you take this as a flower, there are 5 petals altogether. There's only one petal that corresponds to studying, which is what we are doing now. This is also one way of learning for you. Just like you go to a class and you attend in your university, in your school, in your college. Similarly, this is also studying. So it comes under scriptural study. It's called Swadhyaya. It's only 1/5 of the whole process. The other 4 has got to do with practical application. So Swadhyaya is what we actually do in the classes. But then there is 4 other aspects which you will get introduced slowly as we progress different courses of Bhagavad Gita. So first is Swadhyay, second is Sadachar. So Swadhyay means a scriptural study. You can also have your own copy of Gita and you can read as well. Second is Sadachar, which is a Vaishnava behavior. Third is Sangha. Sangha means association. We will be coming together and we'll be doing some spiritual activities together as well. Seva, we can do any different type of service. We'll come to that in the later course, later part of the course. And sadhana, regulated practice of bhakti yoga. You can do some prayer in your home. You can do some reading. You can cook something nice, or you can offer a fruit to Krishna. So these are the different practical ways. Everything, whatever skills that we have, like I said, I'm a software developer by profession. So I take charge of the software systems, CRM systems, especially. I work with a CRM tool called Salesforce. So whatever contact management system that happens for our temple database, I take care along with a team of IT professionals here who are all practitioners of Krishna consciousness or Bhakti Yoga. So like that, as you progress, you will also get to know what are the different ways how you can also contribute, and you can do at the convenience of being in your home, and you can do so many other services that way. So these are the different aspects. In this particular course, we'll be touching on, definitely Swadhyaya is happening during every week session. We will touch a bit on sadhana. We'll also be touching a bit on sangha or association. So these 3 petals, you will get a glimpse of, or you'll get a feel for how to put into practice these 3 aspects. The other 2 comes much later. They are a bit more, Sadachar is a bit more advanced topic. We'll cover that either in the next course or the one after. Seva, you will come to know in the next course. That brings us to the current course that we are doing. As I said, Bhagavad Gita for modern youth. That's the name of the program, overarching program. Under this particular program, which we have designed specifically for modern youth, we have developed many courses. So the first course is called Gita Fundamentals, and that will go for 6 sessions. So after you finish Gita Fundamentals, we have of courses. There's a course on mind management. There's a course on leadership. There's a course on yoga, Hatha Yoga, for example. There is a course on how to face difficulties in life, for example, like that. And each of those courses will go somewhere between 6 to 8 sessions. So this way we have actually extracted different topics, and you will find in each of these lessons are designed based on a particular verse of Bhagavad Gita only. So you don't need to wait until you finish the book in its entirety to be able to understand, learn, and practice Gita. But you will be learning, you'll be introduced to each of these different concepts as we go. In fact, from today onwards, we are going to discuss on a verse from 2nd chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So this is what we are going to do. So this is the overall program. This is like your degree, so to speak. And this is like your semester in your university jargon, so to speak. So Bhagavad Gita for modern youth is the overarching program. Gita Fundamentals, that's the first course that you are doing. And this Gita Fundamentals has got 6 modules or 6 sessions. So today we are going to discuss on mind, body, and soul. Now bear with me, because each one of you are coming from different background. We designed these lessons to be slightly simple, so everyone can come to the same page, and then from the next course onwards. So the entire course of Gita Fundamentals is basic. Those of you who know some of these topics already, you take it as a revision for you. But for many of you, this will be completely brand new. So the whole idea of Gita Fundamentals, and by the way, this is a mandatory course. Mandatory course means without finishing this first Gita Fundamentals, you can't do any other course. So this is compulsory. After doing this, let us say leadership lessons, some of you may say, I don't want to learn about leadership. For now, I would rather learn in, let's say, mantra meditation. Is there a meditation course? You can go like that. You can go for one module or the other. We'll give you some options, 2 or 3 options. You can choose after you finish this course. But this course is fundamental because in this, we will be introducing a lot of concepts of Gita. Some of you may find it a little boring because you won't find much application of this knowledge. But as I said, please bear with me. This is like the ABCs. It's extremely important that we understand each of these concepts like karma, reincarnation, what is mind, what is body, what is soul. what are the different types of yoga, what is karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, or hatha yoga, what is bhakti yoga. So you will be learning each of these different aspects in these subsequent sessions. There are 6 sessions here, as I said, this week, or rather today. In the next half an hour, we are going to go through mind, body, and soul. Next week, we'll be covering on karma and reincarnation. There's a connection between each one of these topics. Now, let me bring your attention to the third week, which is understanding the mind, which is fine. Fourth week, if you see, it says mantra meditation in-person session. Now, what we do is we are very, very flexible in terms of whether you come to the temple and you attend here, or you stay in your home and or in your room or somewhere outside in a park and you attend the course, no problem at all. But what is mandatory is during the course, let's say of 6 or 8 sessions, we try to meet at least once in person. If it is a 6-week program, roughly we try to meet at least once every month, which means for every 3 sessions you will attend from the comfort of your home, car, room, from wherever. One session we will be meeting in one place, and that can be temple sometimes we may meet in a park, sometimes we may hire a hall. We will find different groups, demographics is different, so we'll find some location which is more central for everyone, so you can just catch one train, come there, finish, and you go. That's the idea. Now, the reason why this is important, that in-person session is important, is there are some things which you need to be in person. You need to be talking to someone face to face. Like, for example, yoga. There is only so much you can teach in yoga. If you are interested in hatha yoga, for example, online, you need to be physically present. Likewise, here, this session, mantra meditation, which is going to be an in-person session, we are going to teach you about how to chant mantras. And chanting the mantra, how to hold beats, how to do breathing as we actually chant. So each, there are like subtle aspects in that. How do we do? So, and that is possible only in an in-person session. One other reason why we actually have in-person session is to give you opportunities so you can take some association. During that session, we'll also be dividing into small groups. You will also get to know many people, not just from within your group, but also from other groups as well. So it will be a very nice event. A good 2-3 hours will actually go during the time, depending on how big we do. Sometimes it takes just 1.5 hours. Sometimes it takes 3, depending on the topic in question. But one thing which we do as a mandatory aspect of every meeting is we'll serve you really nice prasad. You don't need to pay us a cent. You don't need to, there's no cost involved at all, as I said, for any of these courses. We, as I said, we have 83 groups, and we are very thankful to all our sponsors. They sponsor because they want to do something for the youth, especially when they are young. Either you may be studying, you may not be even having much money, or you may just have just enough just to pay your rent, or like cover your fees, or just to manage your food, like that. But our congregation is more than 2,000 members strong, so they chip in their donation, and we are happy to have this event conducted fully as a sponsored event. So you don't need to pay us a cent for any of these courses. All these courses are free. There are few aspects alone where we'll ask you to pay. The amount, we will leave it with you. Like, for example, for mantra meditation, when you come, we will give you a set of beats. But donation there is mandatory. You can give 5 cents, no problem. But the whole tradition there is, because somebody is giving you beats, you have to give something. This is part of the Bhakti Yoga culture. Books, for example, Bhagavad Gita, this copy that I actually have, it's $15. If you come to temple, go anywhere, this is how much you will have to pay minimum. But I have a set of books which are sponsored specifically for all of you. Now you can take the same book for just $5. Actually, the reason why we even charge $5 is we can actually give it to you for free, but you won't put any value. It will just sit in your home and it will collect dust. So to encourage you to open, because once you pay something, you will take it a bit more seriously. That's the only reason. If someone say, oh, I can't give 5, can I give 4? Give me, no problem. We are not here to make money. The whole idea here is to encourage you to read, but we won't give for free. Food is free. You can eat as much as you actually want, no problem. In fact, you can come to North Sydney Temple. We'll serve you free food 3 times a day. You can come for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. As much as you can eat, you can eat. You don't need to pay a cent, no problem. For courses, no problem. For the retreats, seminars that we actually run, for the get-together event, which we'll be conducting, no problem. We don't charge anything for that. But for beads, as well as for books alone, beads, you can make any donation, no problem. It can be, as I said, 5 cents, 50 cents, $1. You'll get a bead, the whole Japamala, which is made of tulsi. You will get a bead bag and you will get one other counting bead also. Same way book, I have to put some price. I came up with that figure. $5 is fine. Okay, because it's 1/3 the price. The remaining will be sponsored by the other members. So that's the plan. So fourth session is going to be based on mantra meditation. Fifth is science of yoga. But please do remember exact date, location, and everything. When we come closer to that session, we will discuss as a part of our session, and then we can find out. Ideal is we block one date, one time, one location, and get all the batches. That will be really fantastic. That's what we want to do, which means definitely it will be on a weekend. Either Saturday, Sunday, we can see if there is a lot and we can actually try. Or we can give a couple of options. Either go this weekend on this day to this location, or if you can't make it, okay, go to this one. So we can give probably two options. Usually, we try to have it in one single location. It never happens 100%. There are always some students who can't make it. So we try to split it as two. Let us see between your batch and Wednesday batch. I'm happy to be proven wrong here. If one single session works, so everyone can come, that will be really, really fantastic. Because the more you see, more you'll feel enthused. More you see others, more you'll also make friends with them. Now, this is very, very important. Spirituality can be practiced only based on the strength of association. You are who you associate with. So many of the friends which I made when I started practicing Bhakti Yoga way back in 2005, I was 25 years then, I'm 43 now. So from 25 till 43, I'm still in touch with most of my friends. And this relationship will go really, really deeper. You may have friendship with some schoolmates. You may even have forgotten most of them by now. Some colleagues you may, but how long will that friendship last? As long as you stay in the job. The moment you change another job, it's gone already. Whereas this relationship where you keep Krishna in the center and which you form, it will go lifelong. In fact, even after life also, it will continue. So that's the beauty of spiritual relationships. And we want to create that opportunity so everyone can come talk to each other, see like-minded people, be in the association of people in your own age group. You will learn so much more. From me, you will learn only so much. At the back of your mind, you'll always be thinking, anyway, he's a brahmachari. Anyway, he's been practicing for long. Yeah, he can do it. But what about me? Because I used to think like that in your age. But you fast forward, I'm surprised at myself. Hey, I'm still practicing like that. But you learn, I can tell you from my experience, most of my learning has come from people in my age group. Because they also face same challenge, come from the same background. But still, despite all this, how are they able to practice? And I'm pretty sure all of you have some friends who, either in your school days or in your college days, who you have always felt inspired by, about how could they actually be so devoted to God? I would like to be like that, but I'm not very interested like that. Don't worry, you are in the right place. We will generate the interest now. So that's the fourth session. Fifth session is on science of yoga, and the sixth one is on practical spirituality. Because this is your very first course, we are also going to have a final session, which is again going to be in-person session in the temple. The idea of that is, so we take the blessings of Shri Radha Gopinathji. In fact, for mantra meditation also, we'll be inviting you to come to the temple, because Bhagavata Puran says you get 1,000 times the benefit of any spiritual activity you do in the temple compared to doing the same activity elsewhere. So if you chant japa here, you take 1,000 times the benefit. It's given. I can show you the verse when you come to the temple. So these two activities we'll be doing for the first course alone. We'll be doing both of them because they are very, very significant practices. We'll be doing that in the temple. But as I said, we are happy to, if you can't make it on one day, we are happy to give you two options. For example, come on this Saturday if you can't, or come on next Saturday or Sunday like that. So we'll work out. But again, I'm still keeping my fingers crossed. I'm hoping we can break the trend, and this batch as well as the other batch which we started on Wednesday, I hope all of you can come together and be in one place. Wouldn't it be fantastic to see 60, 70 of you in your own age group who are new, and you embark on this journey and we'll be on this path together forever, for rest of our life and even beyond. That is very exciting. So that's what we are planning to achieve. Let us see. So these are the 6 sessions which we are going to run as part of this course, Gita Fundamentals. And I have exactly 35 minutes in all, of which I have 20 minutes to finish my presentation. I have just a couple of slides, which will be elaborated in a few more. But let us dive deep into this topic of Bhagavad Gita. So today, first session, mind, body, and soul. If you couldn't see the book that I was holding on hand, this is the book that I'm talking about. It's a hardbound book, and this is the one we are offering you for $5 if you don't have it yet. All right, mind, body, and soul. Today, I'm going to show you only two pictures, not this one. It's coming soon. Both the pictures are taken from Bhagavad Gita. If you understand those two pictures, then you can take it that you have a fair good idea about the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Isn't that exciting? So please pay attention. Next 2 slides are very, very important. Once you get a grasp of it, you will understand the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita very easily. Okay, first one is this. This beautiful picture. On one hand, you can sit here and admire the artwork of it, the expertise of the artist who drew such a beautiful piece of work. But let me break your dream and take you a bit more deeper to understand about the deep philosophical point, the deep science of Bhakti Yoga, which this picture is teaching us. The slide is titled, Who Are We? So this picture, if you see, if you sit and observe, it's easy to understand what these horses are. Each of the horse, they have a sense. First horse is having, can you see eyes? This is nose. Ears, you can see hand as well as tongue. So they represent the 5 senses that we have. Sense of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and touching. So horses are very easy to understand. Now these horses, if you see, they are controlled by a charioteer or a chariot driver in blue garments. This person represents our intelligence. Normally, if I ask you, which part of the body does thinking, you would point here, normally, your head. If I ask you, which part of the body do you think you live? Normally, we'll point at our heart. You might have seen in some movies, when a boy or a girl propose to each other, they'll usually point their heart, this is me. They never say, this is me. They never say, this is me. They only say here. Intuitively, we all feel we reside somewhere here. And intuitively means just we feel that way. That somehow we feel thinking means it has to happen from here. Both are correct. According to Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says we reside here only. Hrideshe Arjuna Tistati. We reside in the region of the heart only. Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita. Likewise, thinking, usually we tend to think, we say brain. Is brain involved in the process of thinking? It is. It is involved on a physical level. Intelligence here is represented by this charioteer, this person or a chariot driver in blue garments. Now, what is he doing? He is trying to control the horses. In other words, intelligence is controlling the senses. Now, how is the intelligence controlling the senses? How is this chariot driver controlling the horses? By means of all these ropes, also known as reins, R-E-I-N-S. These ropes represent our mind. So intelligence and mind are 2 different things. We'll delve more into the understanding of mind in the 3rd session, but for now, you understand. In Sanskrit, mind is known as mana. Intelligence is known as buddhi. They are 2 different things. Between the two, mind and intelligence, if I ask you which is more superior, the chariot driver or the rope, definitely the chariot driver. Because he's able to use the mind to control the sense. So far we have touched on 3 aspects here. One is the senses, which is represented by all the horses, the rope, which represents the mind, and the chariot driver, which is the intelligence. There is 2 more aspects that are described in this beautiful illustration. As I said, this illustration comes from a verse in Katha Upanishad, where it explains what each one of these mean. And based on this, one artist has taken that understanding and he has depicted it this way. So anybody who sees this, even without knowing the verse, they can clearly understand. As I said, if you understand this particular picture, then you will easily read the first 6 chapters. If you don't understand this, I want you to ask me questions at the end if anything is unclear of what we are discussing here. So 3 things we have touched on so far. First is the senses, which are the horses, the mind, which is the ropes, and the intelligence, which is the chariot driver. Now there is 4th aspect here, which is the passenger. You can see this passenger represents us. In English, it's known as soul, S-O-U-L. In Sanskrit, it's known as Atma. Krishna uses the term Atma. Atma means that's us, that's the soul that's within us. So this soul is the passenger of this chariot. So there is senses, which is the horse. There is the mind, which is the rope. Intelligence, which is the driver. The soul, and that is us. That is the passenger. Now that brings the $1 million question. What is this chariot? Chariot is the body. So there are 5 things that we are made of. One is we ourselves, which is the soul. And then we live in this body. That's the chariot here. And we have an intelligence, which is buddhi, which is directing the horses. Go here, go there, like that. And the intelligence is using the mind to direct the senses. And it's with the senses how we move about in this world. You learn things by seeing, by hearing. This is how you interact. Senses are the way how you interact with the outside world. Without senses, we cannot interact. We cannot understand. We cannot acquire any knowledge. We cannot do any activity either. Senses are needed for us to work. Now, this chariot here, he is driving this chariot, which is our body. And this body, more important than the body, is the passenger. Chariot, if it's destroyed, you can destroy and get another one. But the passenger is destroyed, it's a problem. Good news is passenger cannot be destroyed. We are Atma. We'll come to that slide next. We are souls. For us, souls, there's no death at all. We may die, but the soul will go to another body. So there's no death at all for us. Amara, this is the very first lesson Krishna teaches us in Bhagavad Gita. So soul is there. For soul, wherever, whichever body it is, it may be in the body of a boy, body of a girl, body of a young man, old man, young lady, old lady, doesn't matter. Soul is the same. Soul is residing within our body. All of us have intelligence. All of us have a mind. All of us have senses. So this is our whole constitution. If we have to study ourselves through the eyes of the scriptures, if you want to study ourselves based on the scriptures, this is how you study. So this description, as I said, came from one of the Upanishad called Katha Upanishad. Katha Upanishad is a supplementary text of the 4 Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sama, and Atharva. Now let me go to the next slide, one of my favorite ones. This slide is also very important. Now here, if you see, there is a new baby who is born, then crawls. It's being a toddler, walks, young man, middle-aged. I'm somewhere there, I think. And then you grow old. And then after some time, you die, body decays. But notice, in all of this transformation which the body goes through, the external covering or the chariot keeps on changing, but the passenger remains the same. Can you see the spark? That is the soul. That's the soul. It's the same soul. That's why if you look at your childhood photo, you may look at it and you will think, who is that baby? Looks very nice. Chubby cheeks, that's you. Even though that body is not with us anymore, we still feel the same person that we are. I still remember the very first day I went to kindergarten. I still remember. I was crying. I still remember. And they made me sleep because I was throwing so much tantrum. In the school, they made me sleep. That was my first lesson. I was not a good student. So we all remember. We remember when we went to primary school. We remember when we went to college. We'll remember the first crush we had. We remember the first time we stole something. I don't know if I have experience. I have. First time when we got caught doing something wrong, all of us have. We still remember the same person, and we have evolved. We have become more intelligent, more educated, more cultured, more civilized, more controlled. But in all of this journey, our body kept on changing. Modern science also agrees that once every 7 years, we get a brand new body. Our body is made of so many trillions of cells. There's million, there's billion, and there is trillion. So many countless number of cells are there in our body. Every cell has got a certain lifespan, but no cell lives for more than 7 years. So cell remains. So every 7 years, technically, you get a brand new body. And that will explain why each one of us, I'm Ganashyam now, all of this body is all gone. But the person that I am, I still feel the same person. I'm still here. And after this point, as I said, I'm 43 now. I'll grow more old, more old. At one point, I'll drop down dead. But my soul, as you can see, gets into the womb of another mother and it continues its journey, gets another body. So this picture comes from a verse spoken by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita 2.12. Look at the example Krishna is giving. As the embodied soul continuously passes, which is the soul, Atma, continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, or from girlhood to youth to old age. Same, the soul similarly passes. So this journey, Krishna is saying, continues. How long? Until it's dead. But at death, just like it kept on, the body covering kept on changing. Similarly, at death, soul moves into another body and takes another covering. It just keeps on going. Now, this change of covering from one life to the other is what we call as death. Okay, so this is what Krishna says. The external body is temporary because it's material. External body is made of Panchabhuta, earth, water, fire, air, ether. Our body has got earth component, earthly component. For example, like we have solid flesh. That's like earth. That is earth. Water. Do we have water component within our body? Yeah, we have blood. We have other fluids also. Fire. Do we have fire? Absolutely, yes. How can we understand we have fire? You just sense the temperature. You will feel the heat. Heat means there is fire. Fire may not be visible, but you can understand the presence of fire with the temperature. Without fire, there cannot be any heat. So fire is there in a very subtle form, generating heat. If there is no fire, usually person when they are dead, their body gets cold because there is no more fire, gone. Earth, water, fire, air also. We breathe in and breathe out. And ether. Ether is more subtle element. That's also there. It's called prana. That's also going in and out. The air that we breathe, like carbon dioxide, we release from the body. Oxygen we take inside. That is happening on a more gross level. Subtle level also, there is something called prana. So that is very, very subtle. That also goes inside. So our body is made of this Panchabhuta. All of this is material. Material means it has a certain starting point and there is an ending point. So at this point, it gets created, it grows, evolves, and at this point, it just becomes decayed, goes back to the earth. Everything goes back to their original position like this. But the soul continues into the next life. This process is called reincarnation. We'll touch on this one in the next session. So here you see our body changes, but the soul stays the same. Now, this has got nothing to do with religion. This principle works for everyone. You take a Christian, do they go through this transformation? Absolutely, yes. You take a Muslim, do they go through? Yes. You take a Jew, do they go through? Yeah. You take someone from Baha'i faith, you take a Sikh, you take anybody. Do they go through this transformation? They do. So the principle of soul being in one's body and the body going through transformation happens for everyone, irrespective of the faith. The scientist, atheist, religious person, whatever religion you follow, doesn't matter. This principle holds true. Now let us take it a little deeper. Does this principle hold true for animals? Absolutely, yes. You take a baby calf, it grows, becomes a cow. Slowly, after some time, it becomes an old cow, and the cow drops down dead. The soul goes into another body. You take a chicken, you take fish, you take a tiger, you take a lion. Everyone follows the same principle. As I said, it has got nothing to do with religion, nothing to do with faith. This is mere science. Science, spiritual science, which Krishna is teaching us using one simple sloka, 2.12. That's how powerful Krishna's words is. Now let's take it even more deeper. Do plants go through this? Absolutely, yes. You sow a seed, seed germinates, becomes a baby plant, grows, becomes a tree. One point it becomes very old tree, and then slowly you will see it withers down, and then it goes down to the earth, only to give rise to more seeds, and then again more trees come up. Can you see the principle, universality of this principle? One principle you take, you can have unlimited applications. The soul just transmigrates from one body to the other. That's all. Principle is the same, holds true for every living being. Krishna here gives another analogy or an example. You can say, he says, just like how a person would change their clothes wearing new garments, the soul similarly is changing this garment of the body, throws it and wears another garment, meaning it takes another body and moves on to the next life. So this is what Krishna says here. So even generally, if somebody is dead, we say the person passed away. What has passed away? The body is still there. Soul is passed away. See, even without us knowing what we are talking, based on the culture that we are all brought up in, we actually say the truth, but without even realizing the truth. We say the person passed away. Person hasn't passed away. Person is still here. But the soul has passed away, which means the soul is the person. So going back to this chariot example, this is if, let's say, if I apply this principle to me, Ganasham is the passenger here. I have my intelligence, I have my body, I have my mind, and I have my senses. Using my intelligence, training my intelligence, I will direct my senses to take my body to a destination. In order for this chariot to go to a destination, two things are needed. The driver needs to know where he is going, first point. Second, he needs to know how to reach there. Now, where will we get the knowledge? Similarly, this is my body. Where to take myself, from what point to what point? How do I know where to go and how to go? Introducing Bhagavad Gita. That's why we need Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita gives us all that information. Who are we? Where we originally came from? What is this life about? How to lead this life properly? How many hours we should sleep? What kind of food we should eat? What qualities we should imbibe? What kind of people we should avoid? Krishna is very, very clear with this. Just like this is an iPhone. When you buy an iPhone, they give you a manual. Anything you want to learn about iPhone, you would look at the manual, flip through the pages, and then you would follow it. Similarly, Krishna has made this body. He has released his manual. Anything to do with this body, both gross and subtle. Gross meaning, why am I not getting appetite? Why am I sleeping too much? Why am I not able to sit and focus? Do my work properly? Or even subtle also, how to control my mind. My mind is driving me crazy. They say soon another mental pandemic is coming, just like we had COVID pandemic. And they are predicting within the next 25 to 30 years, every family in the whole world population has crossed 8 billion. Every family will have at least one person who will be mentally disturbed. So it's extremely important when we are young, we take this. When I got introduced to Bhagavad Gita, I was 25. And when I read it, I realized, man, why didn't I read this much earlier when I was much younger? I would have done a lot more useful things with my life. Most importantly, I wouldn't have done many stupid things in my life. But then I thought, okay, better late than never. So that's why we put a lot of extra emphasis on preaching it to youth, because you have your whole life right in front of you. You have my humble prayers to live for 100 years. So if you train yourself to understand who you are, how to control, how to be successful in life, how to lead a proper life, how to work properly, how to earn money properly, how to take care of people properly, like that, then you will be successful. You will also be able to lead your own family, your kids, your parents, your relatives. And that way you can be materially successful, and spiritually also you can lead a very meaningful life. That's why we put a lot of emphasis. Okay, we are coming to the concluding slides. The body and mind are both material. Body is material, mind is also material. Only soul is spiritual. Material means, as I said, it is going to be temporary. It will die at some point. Whereas the soul is spiritual. Spiritual means eternal. You'll see that in the next slide. Matter or material is temporary. Likewise, spiritual or spirit, which is the soul, Atma, is eternal. Now, these are just facts. Again, Balagra Shatabhagasya, coming from Shastras also. What is the dimension of the soul? Dimension of the soul is, you take the tip of the hair. You see how specific scriptures are. It's saying you take the tip of the hair, cut it into 10,000 parts. One part, that's the dimension. That's how tiny we are. Only in this material world. When we go to spiritual world, where we'll be happy being with the Supreme Lord, be with Krishna there, at that time, this tiny spark will blow up into a fully blown form, whatever our original form is. But when we are here, encaged within this body, our dimension is very, very tiny. And how tiny are we? This is how tiny we are. 1/10,000th part of the tip of the hair. You take the hair, tip of the hair, cut it into 10,000 pieces. That's how tiny we are. Now, two final points. How do we understand whether a soul is present within our body? We can understand based on two symptoms. Whenever a soul is present within a body, which means the person is alive, there will be growth. Nails may grow, hairs may grow, cells may grow. There'll be decaying of the cells, but there'll be new cells also that will get regenerated from the body. So there will be growth. And second part is there will be consciousness. Consciousness means if somebody beats me, I'll feel the pain. Ouch. So that's consciousness. I'll have feeling. You go to a dead man. For dead man, there's no growth. Nails don't grow. And you beat the dead person, the person won't respond. If he responds, you have a problem. They won't respond. So growth and consciousness, these are the two symptoms. Even though soul is so tiny, we can't see it. Just like how I said, the fire of the body you can't see, but you can feel it. Feel the heat. Similarly, soul you cannot see, but you can understand about the presence of soul by these two symptoms. Now let's put this principle into practice. Do animals grow? Yes. Do animals have consciousness? Yeah. Try beating. And then you see how they respond. That means there is a soul in the animal's body also. Plants. Do plants grow? Yes, they do. Tick. Do plants have consciousness? Absolutely yes. There was an Indian botanist by name Jagadish Chandra Bose. You can Google and find. He got Nobel Prize after proving plants have feelings. He built a whole apparatus for that. We can discuss very interesting experiments he has done. We can discuss in some other session. But plants do have consciousness. And again, where is the soul situated? It's situated in the region of the heart. Nature of the soul. Soul is eternal. As we said, there's no death at all. So we don't need to fear death. Does that mean we should do stupid things? No. Like playing with a snake? No. We have to still use our discretion and stay away, fully understanding, even if a death comes to me, death is unavoidable. It comes to everyone. But when it comes, I don't need to be so scared because I'm not going to die anyway. Body is going to change. Remember what Krishna said, soul will move into another body. So death is just transformation of the soul from one body to the other. But as long as we are within this body, we need to prolong our life as much as possible. We all want to live for 100 years. So we have to do, we have our duty. We have to lead a very happy life. We have to guide our kids, grandkids. We have to take care of our parents. And we ourselves need to lead a very meaningful life. So definitely we need to take care of ourselves holistically. So the program that we have, it's designed to take care of you holistically, spiritually, physically, how to keep yourself fit, mentally also, very important, how to stay focused, how to come out of stress, how to be happy all the time, how to be the best version of yourself all the time. You can be working, you can be studying, or you can just be whiling away your time at home. How to be the best version of yourself. So that we'll be learning. So that is, so soul's quality is, it is eternal, it is knowledgeable. Soul is always very intelligent. And bliss, soul is always very happy. That's why we always feel, I want to be happy, I want to be happy. That's us. That's the nature of the soul. Why? By in its original position, before it came to this world, soul was always happy. But suddenly it's stuck within this body and the soul feels a little suffocated. So soul always seeks pleasure. This is the final slide. If you look around, there is like gym, there's yoga, just physical yoga people do, unfortunately. Just to how to keep the body, how to flex the muscle and everything they do. There's fitness first. So all of these programs are good. They are okay. You even have hospitals, for example. They are all good to take care of the body only. Something which is temporary, something which is material, which is good, it's needed. But where is that hospital to take care of the soul? Welcome to ISKCON Sydney Temple. That's why we have sacred spaces. You come here, you feel recharged. Your soul will actually imbibe that spiritual energy, being in the company of all the other bhakti yogis in the presence of the Supreme Lord. You come here, take him. Imbibe the mercy, imbibe the bliss, which Radha Gopinath gives you, take it and then you take it home. So taking care of the body but forgetting the soul is exactly like if somebody just keeps on going to gym or just running, jogging, just taking care of the body, that's exactly like what this old lady is doing. She's just cleaning the cage, completely starving this parrot, unfortunately, and the parrot is dying. So that's what generally, unfortunately, without this knowledge, 99.99999% of this world is running after. How to be healthy, how to have good pleasure for my body, good sexual relationships, good comfort for my body, good food. Everything is okay, fine. But what about the soul, which is real us? If we simply take care of all the material needs, then it's exactly taking care of just the cage of the bird, but completely starving the bird. What is the bird that's starving inside us? The soul. So just like how the body has got its food, soul also has got its food. What is the food? How to acquire it? How to eat it? We'll discuss that in the future sessions. Thank you so much for your kind attention. We have 7 more minutes. Any questions? If you don't ask, I will do a rapid fire. Okay, I see few. Some of us would have the book already. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Yatha Roop by Srila Prabhupada. Fine. Yes, it's the same book. You can have it. If you have it already in any other language, it's the same book that we'll be following. So if someone is asking that question. Nayonika De, how do we go to Krishna if our soul transmigrates between bodies? Our bodies will be cremated and the soul will go to another medium, another body. Fantastic question. Where is Nayonika? Do we have her here or is she in the temple? Oh, yes. Thank you. Your face is dark, but your question is very bright. Okay, so to answer the question, how do we go to Krishna? Because we saw in the picture that the soul moves from one body to the other. How can we stop this cycle of birth and death and how can we go back to Krishna? Stay tuned until we come to mantra meditation, 4th session. But to understand about what determines how the soul is actually moving between bodies, we'll be discussing that in the next session about karma and reincarnation. But your question is very, very valid, very intelligent one. We need to know because we don't want to keep on taking birth again and again and again. You have to apply for PR again. We have to apply for visa again, everything. We have to go through same kindergarten, same primary school, same high school. We have to keep on going from one to the other, which is not what we want. We want to go to a place where it's blissful. There's no more Black Mondays. We don't need to work. We want to just play all the time. That's the lifestyle we all crave for. Is it possible? Absolutely yes. But it's not possible in this material world. We have to go to spiritual world. Now to go to spiritual world, there is a certain process. There is a certain method we have to actually follow. Who prescribes the method? The owner of that world, which is Krishna. So Krishna speaks about it. We'll be discussing about that in the future classes. But thank you so much. Wonderful question. Anyone else? Keep
Manish, I just
quiet.
want
I
to
had a
ask,
lot of questions from the other batch. Prati,
yeah, I just want to know that will the soul transfer to the same like humans or it will transfer to the animals or plants? Because
good.
I heard a video about that.
I'll give you a very short answer. Detailed answer we'll discuss in the next week. Short answer is the soul can go to any of the other living entities, any of the other bodies. It can be taking birth as a plant, possible. It can take birth as an animal, possible. It can take birth as a snake. as reptile, as one of the 8.4 million species. According to Padma Puran, that's how many options we have. Imagine you go to a restaurant and they give you a menu with 8.4 million options. So to answer your question, Prati, you can be taking birth in any of the other species, possibly. Or you can be a human as well. Or you can go to something higher than human also in this material world, possible. Like you come across in our culture, we talk about demigods, Indra, Chandra, Vayu, they are all position. Anybody can become Indra. They have a certain lifespan, just like in material world, like you have a government, Australian government, Indian government, there is a prime minister, there is a whole ministry, each one is in charge for a certain department. Similarly, on a universal scale, you have different gods in charge for different department. Like for example, wind department, you have Vayu, like electricity department or sun, we have Surya Dev. Nighttime, we have Chandra Dev. Rain department, we have like water ministry. Like the rain department is Indra. Indra has to bring the rain down, basically. So he's in charge for rain. Like that, universal management is actually done. So there are life which is even higher than humans. So you can either go above, or you can remain the same, or you can go below also. So there are 8.4 million species. Very interesting topic. There's a whole verse. We'll be going through that in detail next week. So next week, there is going to be karma and there is going to be reincarnation. Half the time we'll be spending on karma and half on reincarnation. That's what we are going to do. Okay, I have few questions here, but thanks, Prati. That was a very good question. How can we practically see that we are soul, we are not the body? Very good question. In the very first slide, I asked, who are we? Are we the body? Are we the mind? Or are we the soul? We are not the body because in this life itself changed so much, so many. Like I used to be a small baby, that body is gone. But I still feel the very same person that I am. Whatever that I felt when I was in LKG, then upper kindergarten, UKG, then year 1, year 2, first standard, second standard, 6th, 7th, 10th. The personality, I still feel I am the same person, but the body over a period of time has actually changed. How can I be something that has keep on changing and it has already gone? I'm still alive, but my body is gone. That's the proof I'm not the body. Same way, am I the mind? That's also not possible because mind, it brings emotions. For example, you may be a boy, you may be a girl, you may have some emotion towards the opposite sex for some time. But then it doesn't feel the same way. Otherwise, why are relationships breaking? For example, emotions change, which means I can't be my mind either because my emotions keep changing. Intelligence the same way. We may think we are correct when we are doing something, only to be corrected by someone else when they come and prove us wrong. Hey, this is actually wrong. You have to change something. And then we realize, yeah, I used to feel it this way. That is correct. Then I got corrected the other way around. So then we take it, yes. So intelligence also can change, which means I can't be my intelligence either because intelligence can come from outside also. So that leaves, everything goes away. Body is gone, mind is gone, intelligence gone, senses also gone. Like, at some point when we are old, we may lose our eyesight, we may lose our sense of hearing, but we still feel the same person that we are. So that is the practical proof that I am the soul. I cannot be any of this. At least we can, at this point of time, accept I am not any of the other. That leaves us with only one option, which is soul. So for now, we can assume that, okay, we are soul. We are definitely are not any of the other ones. There's quite a few questions. I'll quickly go through this.
Thank you. Pranam.
Hare Krishna. How was Lord Krishna's complexion? I missed that part. So Lord Brahma, he sings in Brahma Samhita that Krishna's complexion is like that of a nimbus cloud. You Google and find NIMBUS, the rainy cloud. It's called a nimbus. So Krishna's complexion is like that of a dark blue rainy cloud. That's the complexion of Krishna. Complexion means the color of Krishna. That's Krishna's complexion. Now, why is Krishna in that color? Well, if I ask you, why are you wearing the color shirt that you are wearing? You are a person. So you, based on your choice, you are wearing. Krishna is a person, but he's so powerful that he can even choose the body color. We don't have that choice. Otherwise, I may prefer a different color also. We don't have that. Krishna is so powerful, he can choose to have, just like we can choose to wear whatever clothes, Krishna can choose whatever color he wants. So that's his color. I heard that even gods themselves are envy of human life. then is it necessary to stop this life cycle? Wow, brilliant question. I can't give a short answer to this, but to answer you, Srijan Raj Bujel, I heard that even gods themselves are envious of human life. Absolutely yes. I'll give a short answer, but detailed answer comes much later. It's an advanced question. Short answer is, see, if somebody is in full enjoyment, they won't even come to temple. Sometimes I see people here in the temple and I ask, hey, I haven't seen you for a long time. I'm going slightly over time, just a couple more questions. I'll finish. Looking at the number of questions, hereafter I'll stop talking. Maybe we should just have it interactive during the whole session, as long as I can drive the discussion in the certain direction. Okay, coming to this. Sometimes I see people in the temple. I live in the temple. I live in North Sydney. And I ask them, hey, I haven't seen you for a long time. And they reply, well, I had problem before I came to Radha Gopinath. I prayed, they solved. That's why you don't see us. In other words, when things are going hunky-dory, nobody thinks about God. Nobody thinks about spirituality. Nobody thinks about breaking this cycle and going back to spiritual world. So godly life is like that. Their lifespan is much more longer. They are much more youthful, and they have so many different varieties of enjoyment. So it is so high that they are completely settled thinking this is it. Just like, during COVID, initially everyone was very struggling to remain in home. But we got so conditioned after 2 years when they said, okay, all of you come out, come back to work. Nobody wants to go back because we got conditioned. Same way, even as student, everyone was studying from home. Suddenly everyone has to go to uni. Everyone was finding it very hard. Same way, gods, when they live for thousands of years. They get used to just living in this material world. That's why, but once their karma finishes, they have to come back again to one of the 8.4 million species. There are instances when Indra has become a pig. I can show you in Shastras, it's there. Because he didn't control his mind properly. So he incurs a lot of bad karma, because of which he gets born as a pig. Actually, it's given. He gets cursed also, sometimes you will come across. So just being in a godly position doesn't give you immunity to death. Your lifespan is longer, that's all, but you have to die. Whoever, even Brahma dies. In this material world, Krishna says, there is a verse in Bhagavad Gita where he says, Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartina Arjuna. From Brahma all the way to a tiny microorganism, everyone dies. And then takes another body like that. Now, the reason why gods envy human life is, human life has got a perfect balance between pleasure and pain. You take a lower species, there's so much pain also. Let's say you go to hellish planet, for example, too much pain. There also, you will get so disturbed, you want to think about God. Sometimes little difficulty, you will think about God, but there's so much stressful difficulty. People won't even have the mental strength to offer a prayer. They'll completely forget God and they'll think, okay, chodo, it's not going to work. I'm not going to work. So too much pain is also bad. Too much happiness is also bad. Material happiness, mind you, not spiritual happiness. So human life has got a perfect balance between these two. There is some happiness here, and there is some lamentation also here. Lamentation to a certain degree is good because it reminds us to break this cycle and come out of this. So that's why it said even gods they envy. Next question. A guru is very important to move on your spiritual journey. What if someone finds his guru in Lord Shiva? Lord Shiva is also one of the greatest Vaishnav. Can Lord Shiva be my guru for attaining spiritual growth? Good question. Short answer, yes. Lord Shiva is also one of the bona fide Vaishnava Acharyas. According to Padma Puran, it says 4 Vaishnava Acharyas are bona fide. One of them is Lord Shiva. Second is Lakshmi Devi, Sriji. Sri Lakshmi Ji, who is wife or eternal consort of Lord Vishnu. She is also a bona fide Acharya. Second one, Kumara Sampradaya. It's given 4 Kumaras. They are also bona fide Acharyas. There is one whole parampara is there. Brahma. Lord Brahma is also one bona fide Acharya. Bona fide means they are authentic. So you can choose any of the 4 and you can follow in their parampara. Now, Shiva is a good Acharya. That is fine, but you can't hear what Shiva is saying. If you want to follow what Shiva is saying, come to the temple. I'll show you in Bhagavad Puran what he says and you can follow. You have to follow the instructions. Otherwise, it's not like I have an iPhone, I have a car, I have a guru. That's not a proper guru. Guru means we have to take it and we have to practice properly. What is the instruction? How does Shiva wants me to actually practice? So understanding that and following, absolutely can follow Shiva. In ISKCON, we follow Lord Brahma's Sampradaya. Brahma, Madhava, Gaudiya Sampradaya. So we have Brahma, Narada, Vyasadev, like that we follow. Veda Vyasa, who wrote the Vedas, he's our Paramparacharya. Does meditation help us connect to our soul? Absolutely. How exactly? 4th session. 3rd session will introduce. 4th session, you We will practice that. Nayonika, I quite don't understand where the soul came from. Can you please talk a little bit about the soul? Advanced topic for the later session, origin of the soul. How to read Bhagavad Gita to understand it best? Good question. You start reading initially, and then slowly as you gain some knowledge, or even as you read, you have questions, bring it up as you are doing in this class, bring it up, and we can discuss more, and then you can continue reading. But the best way to read is always under the guidance of some other teacher. In this case, it's me. And it may not be always me. As we progress to other courses, we have other teachers also. But you will always keep coming. We'll always keep meeting. Because I'm your first point of contact. We'll always remain together. We may, irrespective of whatever module that you all do, we will always stay together like that. Okay, so best way to study Gita is under the guidance of some other teacher. And at this point, it's me. As I said, you can start to read. Whenever you come for the fourth session in person, if you don't have a copy of Gita, as I said, you all can take a copy of this for $5. Hardbound, you can take it for $5. As I said, if you're so poor you can't pay $5, give me $4. If you're so poor that you can't give me $4, give me $3, not less. But something you have to give to put value on that. Okay. Okay. Final question. Actually, two more. One of the verses 2.13, it mentions a sober person is not bewildered by such a change. Who is a sober person? Sober person means one who understands this knowledge that body only keeps changing, but the soul remains the same. The soul keeps on changing. So whenever somebody near and dear one to us, if they pass away, it's natural for us to feel sad. But many people, they think this is it. This is the end of my life, like that. And after that, they become totally dysfunctional. That is bad. That's not a sober person. Sober person means they will feel sad, but then they will collect themselves up, arming with the knowledge of what Krishna has given. And they will think like, yes, what Krishna has actually said in Bhagavad Gita is true. Yes, this is a near one, dear one, could be my friend, could be anybody. They have passed away, but their soul would actually go to another. Let me see what's the best way, how I can give them spiritual benefit. You can chant japa for them. You can pray to them. You can offer puja for Radha Gopinath here. That way, they will also take spiritual benefit. That's a more positive way to do. So, sober person means one who's not disturbed too much. Normal disturbance, it's natural. If we have a relationship with someone, near and dear ones especially, it will hurt us. But one should not get stuck with that and think, everything is gone. Not like that. That's a sober person. Who was Vishnu's ninth avatar after Lord Krishna? Future sessions. Can we come to temple tomorrow to get our book? You can even come today, Deepak, no problem. I'm here. You can come call. You all have my numbers. My number is everywhere now. Today, I had a few people calling me from overseas also. Can I join the course? I said, wait, this is just for local people. We'll start another one. So you can come even tomorrow to get your book. I live here. Give me a call when you are here. If I'm not here, I'll make sure someone else. Final question. Does other religions believe in rebirth? Absolutely, yes. Christianity does. Definitely. I heard from friend following Islam. Islam doesn't have rebirth concept. Not fully true. Islam does speak about what happens one who is actually following Allah. I have read Quran as well. And I've got, to be very honest, my biggest inspiration to read Gita came from a couple of my friends in school who were Muslims. We were all part of the same cricket team. I was the school team captain, and they were devoted, means very devoted Muslims. And you can sit and hear, when you look at them, you'll feel so ashamed, how much they are devoted to God. What am I doing? I used to think like that. So rebirth is supported in other religions as well. We can ask a question here in chat, right? Good. Best is to just speak, so others can also hear your voice. Everyone has been hearing only my voice. Next time onwards, whenever I ask for a question, you don't need to type it there. Just ask here. You can explain it. It'll be more interactive. No problem. And as I said, with the way how I'm getting shot with so many questions, I love this batch. I can honestly say this is the best batch that I've ever handled. You can bring it out. We can keep the whole session interactive. As I said, just the first session alone, I had to go through some PowerPoints just to bring everyone to the same page. But from the nature of your questions, I can understand you all have got a good background about spirituality. You have followed either one path or the other. Your questions are very meaningful. We'll keep it as interactive as possible. And don't feel shy. There is a reason why we have separated youth. When we said this is for this particular age group only. Because I don't want you to hold anything. You can shoot. any question under the sun, no problem. If I don't know, I'll tell you. I don't know, I'll refer and tell you. If it's advanced alone, I will say, because I have to think we are discussing in the midst of everyone. So we have to collectively grow here. Otherwise, only few will actually benefit, others won't. So I am the moderator here for the questions. But from next time onwards, you can shoot it. Even better, you can even text the questions. We can even have this chat going even during the whole week. That way we can also stay connected. I'll finish with this point. There's one reason why the WhatsApp group we have created as broadcast only, which means it's a one-way communication. Only I can post, you can't post. And the reason why we have kept it just for the first few weeks is there's something called as mob psychology. If I put it like that, suddenly one person may say, Prabhuji, I can't come today. Then suddenly another 20 people will feel headache that day. And everyone will say, I'm not coming, I'm not coming, I'm not coming. So it can negatively influence others. Plus, you may share anything from internet, which is a problem. In ISKCON, we teach only what is in the Shastra. So for whatever I spoke today, if you ask me, tell me reference, I'll be able to give you from this or from Bhagavata Puran, Garuda Puran, Vishnu Puran. I have read all of them. I can pull the reference and I can tell you, look, this is where it is given. Or at least I can point you in the right direction that way. But in internet, you just pull anything and everything, anything goes these days. People just put, it will cause a lot of confusion. That's why we are limiting it. But bear with us. Once we come to a certain level of maturity as a group, then we can be more interactive, even during the week also. But during the week, you all have my number. Post it. If I find a question to be beneficial for others, I'll post it in the group, and I'll also record a voice message and I'll keep posting, because I can talk easily, much more faster than typing. So I can do that way. It's really late today, really sorry, but it won't go this late. As I said, just like how you are also trying to gauge how much you can ask, how much you can interact with me, I'm also gauging your level. And as I said, I'm very, very thankful for your active participation. Please keep going. I'll send you a text asking for feedback if there is anything that you think we should improve, or if you all collectively feel we may need to have it like slightly, instead of 1 hour, let's have for 1.5 hours. I have no problem. I can keep on speaking for hours, as long as you are in a position to take. But I understand everyone has commitment. If we want to actually increase by, let's say 15 minutes like that more, no problem. We can even have a half-an-hour question session every week. And your questions can be as directed as best on that topic. So we can go a little bit more deeper. That's totally up to you. But from my side, it'll be just 1 hour. 45 minutes is the session. Last 15 minutes only I'll take. Any questions beyond, I'll say, let's conclude here and shoot the questions, send me the questions. I'll actually answer it in the group. That would be my standard answer, unless there is a collective consensus amongst all of you and you say, all right, let's actually have it slightly longer session. Okay, but from our side, we are very, very clear. We want to give in small dosage only, slowly. I know I might have spoken faster. Again, I'm gauging. Wednesday group, I was speaking a little slower. I don't know how much is faster or how much is slow for you. So again, when I send you the text, please do respond back. Feel free. As I said, the purpose of us spending time to actually teach you is simply to educate you on this science of Bhakti Yoga so you can put it into practice. So all questions welcome. How many other times you can ask me to explain the same topic? No problem. You can keep on going. And this recording, whatever that we discussed today, it will get loaded in our YouTube channel, and I'll post the link in the YouTube, in the WhatsApp group. So you can go back and watch, or if anything is unclear, you can also watch it again. Okay, thank you very much for your kind participation. We'll all see next week. And any of you, if you happen to come to temple, please do text me, ping me. I'll be happy to give you some prasad. I'll be happy to give you your book also. So you're all welcome. We are at 180 Falcon Street, North Sydney, and we have some friends who is actually waiting downstairs. I'll go down and meet them now. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.